That's what you get from Clive Davis. He sought his equity and degeneracy. We're going to see some stuff like that. This is what we have to understand what that is. We have to understand that's what they're doing. You have to stop listening to men who hate women but desire women for their sexual validation. You gain nothing from this. And they prop the money up. The money has nothing to do with the mentality. What we start doing when we start listening to these red pill niggas, when we start listening to a nigga named Myron Gaines, first of all, you can't look at a nigga and tell he lame. You have to be able to look somebody in the eye and just be like, yeah, this nigga lame as a motherfucker. Why would you ever listen? He don't look like he get no bitches. Let go. Okay, first of all, both of them fresh and fit dudes. Me, Big Cat, and them, and we're gonna go out, we're gonna go clubbing one night. They don't have no names and neither do we. Who you think getting numbers? It's okay. It's okay. These two studs, these two handsome men, funny guys, know how to dress. Not that fucking cop and his loser friend. If anything, we're gonna have to separate. Like, bro, we gotta go to the 2-minute drill and separate from these niggas. They fucking the vibe. Yeah.
Make our rounds.
You gotta make our rounds.
And then come back.
Hey, y'all post up right here. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
If we have any shot.
Yeah.
of just getting a number.
Right.
You know, me and Big K go out. We go set up the vibe.
That's a fact.
Y'all ladies, y'all good?
Yeah.
Y'all hungry?
Y'all good? Y'all drinking?
Y'all want something to drink?
What y'all doing?
You know, we was at the pool party. It was like, hey, fuck these niggas.
Yeah.
Would y'all like a pizza?
Mm-hmm.
It's a food truck. I'll post up right here. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
If we have any shot.
Yeah.
of just getting a number.
Right.
You know, me and Big K go out. We go set up the vibe.
That's a fact.
Y'all ladies, y'all good?
Yeah.
Y'all hungry?
Y'all good? Y'all drinking?
Y'all want something to drink?
What y'all doing?
You know, we was at the pool party. It was like, hey, fuck these niggas.
Yeah.
Would y'all like a pizza?
Mm-hmm.
It's a food truck. Baddies was happy.
Yeah. Are they feeding us?
Oh my God. I want nothing more than some food right now.
Please.
Niggas are just trying to feed me Don Julio.
That's it.
Now let me take care of you.
Yeah, let me
take care of your stomach, baby.
Let me get you back right.
I don't even want your number.
Let me hydrate you.
You just can't be up.
It's always a couple of fat, lame niggas acting like they care so much about the hoes. Oh my God, what are we doing? You know, I be wanting to leave stuff alone, but I woke up this morning and I kept seeing this video. Everybody was talking about this video this morning. Then I just got off the panel with Fantastic. I said, you know what? I was going to go do something, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait because I'm going to make time. It's always somebody out there trying to mess up the mission for everybody else, bro. Chill.
Over here looking good and hungry. You look hungry.
Yeah. Starving.
A lot of Don Julio been flowing.
Sun is beaming.
The sun beaming. You know what I'm saying? Let's make sure these young women eat.
Yeah,
Man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go get them a pie.
They was happy.
Happy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Out here buying chicks pies and shit. It's fat nigga game. Buy you a pizza. You hungry? Buy you a pizza. Oh my God. What are we doing? Yeah, that's him, Carmen. That's him. Look at him live.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go get them a pie.
They was happy.
Happy as hell. Mm-hmm. They start shaking ass after that.
Yeah.
But you listen to men who hate women, but they seek women for their sexual validation. You a nigga like these men, fresh and fit, these red pill guys, Aiden Ross. Like,
when did Aiden Ross become a part of the red pill community? We got to start doing an ID check on some of these guys, bro.
Andrew Tate, the Tate brothers. They emphasize, they are constantly emphasizing this idea of masculinity, right? But the message is always conflated with like some hatred for women. I don't fucking have. I actually love women.
I love women, bro.
I can tell you are in love with the idea of woman. And that's what makes you dangerous. That's kind of what makes you evil. You're in love with the idea of woman.
But I want to address this simping allegation. Do I simp for black women? Yes. I love black women. I don't like y'all niggas. This is an easy decision to make. Sorry.
Yeah, Studio Mansion says Aiden became an extreme right winger when he said he doubted Megan, and that's a lot of what's going on here. You see the title of his show at the screen, at the top of the screen: "Free Diddy, Free Tory, Free Your Mind." Right. First of all, the Diddy Tory thing are completely separate on just on totally different levels, and I'm not gonna hold the weight. I'm not carrying water for Diddy. And supporting Tory isn't anti-woman if she is lying on Tory. I'm supporting the truth.
Bro,
Like, love
I was
them.
raised by a woman.
Yeah, man.
could I hate-
I don't.
How could I
It's
hate a
not
woman?
even, yeah, bro. This is another thing too. Like, bro, I spent a lot of time with like my aunties.
Yeah.
And like, auntie was cool as a motherfucker. But see, this is the thing. We've never
I bet you look like your auntie.
shared spaces with people like this, right?
Mhm.
Before the internet.
Right.
There would always be a clear separation in how we function, right? Like, even in school, we don't function the same as them niggas. Like,
No.
niggas be a little weird when the girls come around.
Yeah.
And shit.
Yeah.
And we gone through a stage of puberty where shit, sex is like extremely important to us, right? And we're not trying to play these little games of like, hold on, here's another thing.
How is it pro-black to be having sex right into puberty? You understand the connection he just made? Like, we be hitting puberty and sex is an important thing to us. Like, yeah, you're not supposed to do that though. Just, just throwing that out there, like, that's probably not the best time to be engaging in adult affairs. It's not like you understand what's going on here, you know what I mean? But pro-blacks, they know. They have wisdom.
I just thought about this. When white people make coming of age stories, they always make it from the position of the white boy that can't get no pussy. This starts young.
Okay.
American Pie.
Yeah.
And what type of guys? They always make it seem like the douche.
Yeah.
The douche is the one, the jock. He's the one getting the pussy. But it's not even about him being a douche or a jock. He's just confident.
And this is another thing I noticed about the this latest batch of the anti-manosphere creators. You want to replace the manosphere. You want to, give guys advice and all that. And you're going to wind up saying all the exact same things that manosphere guys say because there is no reinventing the wheel. And you really just want to steal the talking points that don't offend your female audience. That's really what's going to happen.
It's like the main thing. Why would I fuck you? You scared of me and shit. Like you're fucking up, you're fumbling over your words. It's all a confident thing, right? Now, here we go. Here we go. That trait of violence. I'm gonna get to it in a minute.
All right.
I'm gonna tie it all in.
We know how you work, baby. Yeah. We know how you work.
Black women are low-hanging fruit for black men. And we're clearly jealous of their ability to win playing the long game due to our short-sightedness and our obsession with fast money.
Now, this is a layered attack he's making out right here. And there's some truth in it. That's why it's layered. I wouldn't call it a jealousy, though. But there is a feeling of betrayal, right? And I was talking about the whole pro-black narrative earlier when I was on Fantastics, right? All the gains are going to go to the women. So any victories made against the system, the women benefit first and foremost. And that benefit doesn't translate to broader benefits for the rest of us, right? It seems like only the women are successful.
They played the long game. They went into the education, they went into academia, and they've infiltrated the corporate world, and they found success in those spaces. But that's low-hanging fruit for us because we can still because they want to be in community with us.
Yeah.
The 90
Do they really though?
98% of black women seek a black man.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about the lowest marriage rates, the highest AB rates, I would argue also the highest incidence of like keeping a child away from the father. I'm betting on that. I don't have hard numbers because I don't know if they even number by ethnicity which women play keep away the most. But I'm willing to put y'all in the game. I'm willing to bet on black. It's hard for me to think that they really want community. They want power.
You don't hear them. You will see them online with a white man. You see them marry white men. Every now and then you may hear them speak derogatorily against black men and prop up white men. But the common thing is black men speaking derogatorily against black women and propping up any other woman.
Mm-hmm.
We do it in our music. We do it within our community. Due to colorism, we prop up light-skinned women or the foreign looks, yellow bone, red bone. There's been a resurgence. There's been some effort to show more love to black skin, brown skin, and dark skin women. And even in that, you know, there's separation. Dark skin, brown skin, light skin, red bone, yellow bone. No.
I hate the colorism conversation though, because it's one of those things where like some things just happen the way they happen. Even if there is a kind of toned hierarchy to attractiveness, which I don't really buy into because there are a bunch of attractive dark-skinned women. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, there is a hierarchy to skin tone. What are people supposed to do about that?
They're black women.
Yeah.
They're all black women. We're all black people. This obsession with putting us all in pockets comes from the colonizer. They only segregated you by color to use you. Me and Big Cat we're not supposed to hang out. We're not supposed to be friends. I'm supposed to think I'm better than him.
So he must be the light-skinned nigga, and his homie off camera is a dark-skinned nigga. And you're really not all that light-skinned, really, tell you the truth. You wouldn't pass for white.
And he's supposed to be mad at me. Typical. Niggas are falling hook, line, sinker. We've had a short-sightedness. You want to talk about the war waged on black men? Let's talk about the war on drugs.
All the good men got locked up selling dope because they was trying to fight money to fund. They needed to make money to fund the revolution. That's why they was selling dope. But not all the good men are in jail, right?
Let's talk about the war on the mind, the school to prison pipeline, the music industry, which propped up this idea that if you got fast money, you would get the women, you would get the cars, you would get the clothes. You would get all the material desires that you could ever want.
They said he was still regular back in the 90s. Now all of a sudden you think you light skinned. Nigga got a promotion. Nigga been grinding since the 90s. He finally got promoted to light skinned it.
But it comes via fast money. Doesn't come through hard work. So we've placed a low value on hard work until you get around some hardworking men. And they'll let you know, man, listen, man, you could be as popular and as famous as you want, but a real blue collar player.
I don't think I've ever heard those words before, blue collar player. I'm not saying it's not a thing. It's just not like a coined thing. Because, you know, there's always been this little weird stigma that black women in particular don't necessarily like the blue collar guy. Because you got a lot of women going into like the corporate world and they can't always pair off with the black men in the corporate world, but they don't like the blue collar guys that are available to them, even if they make decent money or whatever.
You ain't got nothing on them, brother. Trust me, man. Wake up every day, go put on that welding mask, and then get off. Hey, man, the boy got good biceps on him.
Yeah,
he'll take your girl, bro. Quick, he'll steal your girl, bro. Trust me.
Right here in the Hellcat.
Yeah.
My boy pull.
He done stacked his bread up. Pulled up in that Hellcat.
Yeah.
He might do a little sun on side. You know what I'm saying?
But he get up every morning, baby.
Up at the crack of dawn.
Why do pro-blacks love the streets so much? There is an intimate relationship between the idea of criminality and the revolution.
Crack of dawn with a lunch pail.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we advocate for these things, because we live in the reality. We live in the real world. A majority of our life and our lived experience is in the physical.
Mm-hmm.
This internet shit is like the 4D, like this is a whole nother dimension.
Yeah.
And we didn't get our experiences from this shit. So you have to be mindful that there is a push, because the more you lean into the red pill shit, the more you're gonna lean into conservatism, and the more you're gonna lean into this right-wing shit.
Why is conservatism such a boogeyman for the black community? It's almost a worse slur than being called the N-word by a white guy. Like, niggas call a black dude a conservative like he's supposed to burn in hell behind that. It's like really a transgression. I don't get why.
It's basically all a ploy to turn you into MAGA.
Mm.
You're gonna take people's information at face value as if they're an expert, just because the niggas in a fucking big ass mansion doing like
Nigga doing bench presses.
niggas doing incline bench presses in the middle of a living room in a mansion, and you think he must have the answers.
Fat niggas have just an internal burning, passionate hatred for the gym bros. It's like the North and the South, like the Hatfields and the McCoys. Fat niggas really can't stand gym bros. There's something about gym bros, it just makes fat niggas burn up on the inside. And they don't actually burn calories, though. That's the weird part about it. But they be burning up nonetheless, though. How you pro-revolution but anti-gym? Walk me through that one. I need you to slow it down, write it in crayon for me. How are you pro-revolution but anti-gym? You don't think you might need some gym bros in the revolution? You might not need some of those big bicep niggas.
Nigga, you think about you like, this is like what I thought about, like wrestlers.
Yeah.
I thought these were larger than life. You know what I'm saying? It's the kayfabe. I was falling in love with the story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was my soap opera.
Yeah.
But when you become a man, you put away childish things, and you also learn not to take things at face value.
Never.
You got to take things at a grain of salt, with a grain of salt. And our short-sightedness and understanding of like this thing about us wanting to be hustlers and things like this is also capitalistic propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
They played the long game, and they're having success.
Wait. Selling drugs is capitalism? That's weird. Thought it was criminality. Big time with the $5 super chat. He says, African booty scratcher talking about we live in the real physical world while complaining on the podcast. Bro, there are going to be so many layers. We haven't even pierced through the outer protective warm layer. We got to cut through a lot of blubber, bro. There's going to be a lot of layers, bro. We're going to spend time. I'm trying to be quicker about this because I really want to get out of here, but we got to spend some time on this. I might not even finish this whole thing right now.
And they're raising their standards, and we're jealous of that. Is it jealousy? Is it envy?
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's closer to disgust and fatigue. Remember that? It's more like fatigue.
I don't know how else to describe it when you so overtly hate them. Low racial self-esteem. Hey.
Low racial, first of all, you talk crazy.
Low racial self-esteem.
Self-esteem. Low racial self-esteem. You heard him. Don't what me, Carmen. You heard him. Low racial self-esteem. You need more racial self-esteem.
Low racial self-esteem.
Low racial self-esteem.
Low racial self-esteem.
That's what's wrong with you nibbers. Low racial self-esteem. How many times do I have to say it? Jeez.
Hey, great term.
It's a powerful thing.
It's a powerful thing because you start to see you prop up other women from other races, even other men of other races. Should get a little
messy.
Get a little messy.
Yeah.
It gets to the point where I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this shit I just don't get.
I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, bro. We are on far opposite sides of an issue right now. I understand you because it is in my benefit. I can't do what I do well if I don't understand you. And I watch you to study so I can learn and eventually conquer the beast, right? But you will never understand us over here. It would hurt your brain. It would literally hurt the inside of your heart.
But one thing we don't talk about enough when we reference slavery is eugenics.
Okay.
The breeding, either breeding in or breeding out. How did they get rid of the rebel? Ridding of the rebel, systemically removing rebellious genetics, that rebellious spirit.
Now, peep game. He's accusing slavery of having removed the rebellious spirit from the population, right? But technically, wouldn't it be the right-leaning manosphere guys who are in rebellion right now? Who's really bucking up against the system right now? The majority of black wealth, there would be no black middle class if black people didn't have government employment. Like, government jobs are the #1 financer for the middle class of black America. That is the system.
In a common population via prison and murder. War on drugs. Get rid of the rebel. What do you lose when you lose these violent men?
Now, you're saying that the rebellion is actually the ghetto criminal street niggas. Those are the warrior class. Remember that phrase? Remember when they tried to tell us that was the warrior class? Shout out to the OG Manosphere panels, man. We covered a lot of this ground a long time ago. That's why these Johnny-come-latelys, they can't come up with new and better concepts because, one, there probably aren't many, and two, you got a product that ain't moving no more, bro. Your product is not flying off the shelf like it used to. When I lived in South Philly, every bodega and Chinese takeout had bulletproof glass. I now live in Appalachia, PA. No glass or barriers. What changed? Shout out to Big Time with the $10 super chat. Thank you. I'll tell you what changed, Big Time. I'll tell you what changed. Mountains. Yeah, mountains. Most niggas ain't trying to climb a mountain and ruin your day, bro. Most of the blacks, we live in flat, plain, seaside areas. We don't do mountain. I'm just, hey, Appalachia sounds kind of mountainy to me. Appalachia sounds like a mountainous region. I'm just trying to tell you. Niggas is not trying to climb the mountain and mess with the white man. That's why we're not going to overthrow white supremacy, by the way. Niggas is not messing with the back hills and the mountains and the woods. Nah. There's not enough of those type of black folk. Enjoy your mountains, bro. I know it's peaceful up there. I'll be up in the mountains. Actually, I think I got to go up to the mountains of PA in a day or two. I've been called away to the mountains of white people land. And yeah, there are very few blacks up there. Shout out to Big Time with the $10 super chat. Be like Big Time, y'all. Smash that super chat button for me. Hulk! Smash! Smash you! You make Hulk angry. You not like Hulk angry.
Hulk no like fighting girls.
To tie it back in, your idea of masculinity is your ability to perpetuate violence, but a real masculine man knows how, when, and where to perpetuate that violence. So what do we lose when we lose these?
Now, mind you, what he's trying to connect, the dots he's trying to connect. And remember, I explained this a bunch of times, right? Black men can only express masculinity through fighting the white man, right? That's the only way, that's the only form of acceptable Black masculinity. And so what he's telling you is that the violence that men are just more prone to engage in, the only acceptable way to channel that energy is to fight the white man.
Violent man, a confident man, a self-assured man, a protective man, a militant man, very territorial, very authoritative, aggressive, vigilant, provisionary, assertive. And when we lose these men to the system, and we lose these men to the street, we lose these men to Jim Crow, we lose these men to all these systemic factors, what are we left with? These docile men who say, you want a thug and you want a gangster, you don't want a good guy, but you're not really actually a good guy, you're just not confident. You scared to say, damn, baby, you look good. Like, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah.
Hold up. If you're not a good guy, if you're not confident, I don't know if I can connect those dots. And you know what's happening here? And speaking of masculinity, Black masculinity is always like squeezed through the prism, the filter of the female vision. Whatever it is women desire, you have to funnel your masculinity through that. And then whatever comes out on the other end, that's how you can be a masculine person, right? Whatever it is that women appreciate, whatever women value, those are the ways that you're allowed to be masculine. And if you break that mold, now you're acting too much like a white man. But wait, look, there's a little bit more going on here.
Oh, we lose these men to all these systemic factors. What are we left with? These docile men who say, you want a thug and you want a gangster, you don't want a good guy, but you're not really actually a good guy, you're just not confident. You scared to say, damn, baby, you look good. Like, what's up? How you doing? Yeah. Let me holler at you real quick. Like, wait. Let me holler at you real quick. You don't have the confidence to do that, but these men who would carry out violence, who will carry out violence, know when and where, but because they used to be provisionary. A lot of street niggas, real street niggas, these men that were heralded, they took care of everybody. But
yeah, real street niggas took care of everybody. There is a mythology around the so-called street nigga that just won't die because, you know, music and movies and whatnot. But we got to stop making the street nigga your hero, bro. That is I don't think anybody who has children, especially like, imagine being a father and the first time you hold your newborn son in your hands, the last thing you ever imagine for him is street nigga. And if you can't imagine that for your son at his most innocent minute after birth, why would you ever imagine that? When does it ever be a desire? When does it ever become desirable?
Because rebels become revolutionary with education. So by making education systemic and unappealing to that rebellious spirit.
Remember, you hear what he said. Rebels became revolutionary with the education. This is why the women go to college and they come home unlovable, because they become warriors in the revolution, the forevolution.
He or she is often converted into criminality. It's unappealing. It's boring.
Right.
A rebellious spirit. This shit ain't something about this. I don't like this shit.
Right.
They can see it. They can see the play the whole way away. A rebellious spirit. I got a rebellious child. Cohen, very rebellious. I asked him the other day, I said, and this is a real conversation, I can back up. I recorded it, but I wouldn't play the recording because he said he doesn't want anybody to hear that.
Okay.
And I asked him, I was like, you had a particularly rough year in school this year. I want you to name I need to know your 3 problems with school so we can find some solutions. The very first thing he said to me is that I feel like I live at school and I visit home. And I don't have anything to look forward to because when I get a job, it's going to be like I live at work and I only visit home. And I said, well, son, sounds like you understand capitalism. Sounds like you get it. You feel exploited. You feel exploited. I should be at home. Like, this is my home. Yeah. I ain't spending no time there.
Right.
And he said, even when I get out of school and I go home, I got to do homework. He's detailing these things. You know what? Hold on. I don't like this idea that niggas ain't gonna believe me.
Nah, I'm saying, but
all right,
don't play it.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm gonna skip past this. I don't care about your revolutionary kid.
Systemic. Only people scared to take the risk You're too scared to take the risk of not going to school. And a person that's a rebellious person, but they're very critical with their thinking, understand I got to lock in and use this for the long term. That's what our women have done.
Yeah.
But listen, it's all systemic. Nobody likes school.
Now, I don't buy this argument that the women as a group have somehow become better long-term thinkers. I think it's really a simple issue of if the government promotes something, if the government subsidizes something, you simply get more of it. And men's educational success is not really a governmental priority. And so because men aren't really a priority, you shouldn't really expect the numbers to look the way they look, with women getting almost the entirety of the government's intervention. The government only intervenes to help women.
People like subjects.
Yeah.
But for the most part, if I don't like social studies,
yeah, I'm not gonna like it.
I'm not gonna like it. It is what it is. Everybody gravitates. There's people out here who are accountants, bro. They deal with money all day, every day, and they love it. They love numbers. That's their thing. I can't do it. I'm more of a creative person. But that's creativity, and even that, they find creative ways to do their job that makes them good at it. And there's a total of like 16 different intelligences, and we're carving it out. We're carving out education into this one way of being intelligent. And the truth of the matter is it's very repetitive and remedial.
Yeah.
What is your ability to memorize and then regurgitate information? There's no creativity in it. But a rebel will become revolutionary with education. But it's got to be the right education. And I feel like this is...
Now, mind you, this new education that he's talking about, this new model, because this is not the old model. This is not the historical educational model. We've changed this educational model so that we can promote more women. Simple as. We basically moved heaven and earth so women can graduate and have jobs at Coachella and whatever.
It's systemic. Again, poverty will ignite the fire of that hustle in you, right? But you really do have to. One thing I say about myself, and why I never I'll talk about being in the street, but I never consider myself a street nigga, because I ain't really never cared about that money shit. All I wanted to do was create and have community in a space of like shared values, you know?
I got you.
Like money was just
You was a revolutionary street nigga? You wasn't in the street for the money, you was out there for the community. I don't understand you niggas. Tell you, bro, things just ain't the same for gangsters, man. It's weird out there in the streets right now.
All I wanted to do, talk about being in the street, but I never consider myself a street nigga, because I ain't really never cared about that money shit. All I wanted to do was create and have community in a space of like shared values, you know?
I got you.
Like money was just like, it's kind of byproduct. Like I need that shit, but like...
You were in the streets because that's where the hoes were. You wanted community. You didn't really care about money. What else is left? That's where the hoes were. That's really what that boils down to.
Fuck about no money for real. You know, the older you get, when you get more responsibility, it becomes a little bit more in your forefront. When I was young, I was like, fuck about this money. Like, that's why I'm blowing this shit. I don't give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
Also, too, but you also like have to understand circumstantially, all these niggas get money. If I'm gonna be kicking with, I gotta get some money too. You don't want to be broke around some niggas get money because they're gonna treat you foul. You're gonna get treated foul. But to tie it back, right? We have to understand, and we have to shift our perspective on how we correlate masculinity with violence. Masculinity knows there's a time and a place for everything. Time and a place. Your ability to carry out violence or to support those who do does not make you more of a man. You actually start sounding like a bitch. Free Tory, you sound like a bitch. Free Diddy, you sound like a bitch. It's weird. We're not playing for teams here. This idea.
See, this whole thing is because, one, look, the Tory Lanez situation, the internet was right from the jump. Niggas was on that from the jump. How I shoot you and there is no DNA on the gun, ain't nobody got tested for DNA but him. Like, that whole thing was fishy. Diddy, on the other hand, hey, man, y'all gonna have to give me a little bit more than just a freak off. There's a long way to go. There's a lot of distance between a freako and a Rico. And you promised me a Rico, and I haven't heard anything Rico worthy yet.
Yeah, there's a team to play for. I'm not playing for the man team. I'm playing for the black team. whether that be man, woman, trans, disabled, any.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Way too many people on this team, bro. You could have stopped after 2. You went to like 3, 4 other slots we don't need. You know what? You got it. Matter of fact, I'm in the wrong place. I'm not on the team. That's y'all's team. I don't want to be on that team. I'm a free agent now.
Free Tory, you sound like a bitch. Free Diddy, you sound like a bitch. It's weird. We're not playing for teams here. This idea that there's a team to play for. I'm not playing for the man team. I'm playing for the black team. Whether it be man, woman, trans, disabled, any of it. That's the team. Y'all look at the team as man versus women. If that's your...
He said trans, disabled, any of it. So that's the entire spectrum, right? The whole rainbow, black furries, all the weird gender kins. Because, you know, there's always one odd black guy in every weird social group. There's always that one black guy. No matter what kind of weird group you put together in America, there was always going to be that one black guy like, hey, what's up? I heard you guys were having a little get-together. That's all I'm saying. There's always that one guy. And he's like, nah, they're all on the team. And I'm like, bruh, I'm off the team.
Idea, I'm a root for niggas regardless, no matter what they did. You're gonna start to sound like a bitch. Because now you're supporting people who are harming people. You can't tell me you care about the black community, and then when black women are harmed, you feel like you have to choose a side. No. Man, woman, child. You're gonna be held accountable to your actions. And if you support abusers, you either support them out of guilt or aspiration. You either know that.
Hey, where do the other team members fall into that man, woman, child scenario you just laid out? I'm curious how that, you know, since I'm not on the team anymore, I can ask the questions you wouldn't let me ask in practice, but like, where do those other members fit into the man, woman, child dynamic? I don't get why this team has so many people on it. That's why I quit the team. It got crowded. It got real crowded in here.
That you're an abuser yourself, and that's the team that you're really supporting, or you have some deep dark desire to aspire to being an abuser. You fantasized about it, and you respect the man that carried it out. And it's odd. It's an odd behavior. It's an inability to see the humanity in our women. That's the weird part. I don't get hung up when black women talk shit about black men. I don't get hung up on it because I talk shit about white people for the same reason. History of violence, history of degradation.
All right, a new Black Men Are the White People of Black People just dropped, and this is the full clip in its glory.
History of utilizing privileges against me and then playing the victim when I call it out. History. I'm my critical thinking, the need to protect myself and preserve my life. If I know enough, I got to do enough. I don't have no reason to trust white people, nor like them. And if we look at the history, they don't have a reason to trust black men or men in general, or like us. There's a lot of grace being given. When you think about how unprotected they were, even as babies, how many girls went to their parents with these stories and they protected their abuser? How many of us right now are in a family and we know who the abusers are and they're still being protected?
Protected by the women, bro. Protected by the women. I've seen those families. I know those kinds of families, bro. I'm not saying that that's not a thing, but those families are full of women and a couple of gays.
I understand that even in this society where young boys get taken advantage of, if we get taken advantage of by a woman, we wear it like a badge of honor amongst our friends until we get older and a woman tells you, nigga, you were molested. Yeah. You were raped. And you're like, oh shit, that's why I'm weird about sex. That's why I'm a little hypersexual or sexually regressive. And it does, and the door does swing from one to the other. As somebody who had experiences with that.
He is actually way more damaging than Derek Jackson and Ace Metaphor because he's intellectualizing a lot more intensely. And what that means is you're giving ideological support to behaviors that we don't really need. And so Derek Jackson and them, they were they were giving support to like low level stuff, you know, attitude-y stuff or whatever, you know, relationship stuff. They kept the revolution to the relationship. He is actually taking a revolution in 360 degrees, and that's what makes these guys more dangerous, right? This is why I've been calling it the forevolution. Everywhere you go, all the time, I must want problems.
I used to be like, yeah, I lost my virginity when I was 8. Don't think you did.
Nah.
The final frontier for us in this community.
No, actually, Portia, if you pay attention every now and then, you'll notice the jump cuts. This is very edited. And so they got their little studio set up, and then they do the show quiet and then go back and then edit it. And they never do live. I looked at the channel. They don't have really any live shows. They got like one, but they don't really do live shows. So everything you see from him is heavily edited, which makes me think you're just not that fun in real time.
We have a host of issues.
You see me? I'm fun in real time. On my feet. I don't have to do a triple take. I don't leave a lot of footage on the floor. You get it all, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Host of issues. But our biggest issue is this perceived gender war, because it divides us in half. It literally splits us right down the middle. Like, man, the qualities that you have that will make you a success in the street, a success in athletics, will also make you a success in education. But we have to get it quick. And I get it. Women ain't gonna fuck with us if we don't got the money. If you put the phone down, all your information, first of all, just be.
Why don't you address that a little bit, though? Why are you unwilling to delve into that concept a little bit deeper? Women ain't gonna mess with us if we ain't got the money. Because you realize a lot of the gains that have been made by women over the last couple of decades, they are now starting to show the negative effects, you know, because nothing exists in a vacuum. There are no perfect solutions, only trade-offs. And we traded off a better shot at relationship and familial stability for the idea of women's freedom. You know, earlier, a couple of you guys probably followed from the Fantastic show. Earlier when I was on Fantastic's panel, he had a guest named Tyranny. A lot of you guys might have heard her name. She's been around some of these Black YouTube channels. And Tyranny, she held the floor for a while. She was very honest as a lady, and I appreciate that. But I asked Tyranny a straight up question. Do you suppose that since women have gained their freedom, that they have done a great job with it? And she really kind of ran away from the answer. She didn't really address it head on. She denied women had any freedom or whatever, and that turned into its whole rabbit hole. But that's kind of the question at hand, right? Like, we've traded women having autonomy, social autonomy, and financial independence for lack of family, lack of love. Like, people just aren't going to fall in love anymore like they used to. You know, SKC and I, we talked about love and responsibility for hours a couple days ago, but the reality is the setup that we're all working under right now, it's just a lot harder to love women. And the problem is, this is a situation that women have fought for very much.
Be honest about this. All of the information you're receiving from the world via the internet is being pushed to you through an algorithm.
Shout out to the Midwest Request gifting memberships. Thank you to the new member. Welcome to the church.
The natural path of things. Your mentality is not the same mentality as mine, because I got my experience in the world with actual people. So I know the shit that you're saying just isn't true. And if a girl your age is trying to tell you to get money and do all these things, she's receiving the same information as you. You're both being lied to. And you're both believing in the lie. And the lie is being reinforced by the music, and the lie is being reinforced by the algorithm. This phenomenon of women only seeking men for money is a very new concept. My parents was married. My dad was broke. How many?
So he did have a 2-parent home at least some of his life. I don't know how long, if they're still married or whatever, but you know, he had a dad, so check that one off the list.
First of all, what's up with this Black community that we've had to overcome all this financial poverty, but we only will get with men if they got money? That doesn't make sense, nigga. How were you born? If we've always been financially in this country.
You know, modern pro-blacks really haven't begun to address the social and political changes of the last 35 years. Actually, let me just say 40, right? However long ago 1980 was, whatever that number is, right? Because the end of the 70s was also loosely the end of the revolutionary period, like with the Black Panthers and whatever. And a lot of things like the Black Panthers, Angela Davis is still a professor right now. And pro-blacks can't really grapple with that reality. You are in the belly of the beast that you swore to fight. And so now, and not just Angela Davis individually, but women in general are fully enmeshed into the system now.
Country in last place, but our women will only fuck with niggas who got money. How are any of us here? How? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Women before modernity relied on men for provision and stability. Now that we've removed that need to rely on men for provision and stability, it's either extreme wealth, extreme good looks, or just whatever. I can't even fill in the gaps. You know, women are mysterious.
This doesn't make sense. Yes, of course, a drug dealer that goes out and gets the fast money, yeah, he's gonna have a lot of women available to him. He may have a lot of babies. That's not common. That's not the story. It's just a story to amplify. Because they want you to aspire to degeneracy.
Well, that actually is more common than you would think, though.
And now you're seeking equity and degeneracy. Gotta get your mind right, man. All this shit is systemic. The algorithm is being pushed to you to push an agenda. Because the second that you start hating women and you start getting into that red pill content, all the white red pill niggas are also racist. You think that's a mistake?
Nah, I like it that way. I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. It's actually sharpened up my own racism, to tell you the truth. Their racism has reminded me of my own personal need for racism. You know, it was like that missing puzzle. You ever seen that? It's like a picture of a guy, but he's all puzzle pieces, and then there's that one missing piece of a puzzle. It's freaking racism, bro. Who knew?
They're trying to push you into conservatism. Because the more conservative you are, the more likely you are to fall for religious dogma and to follow orders blindly. And then you might as well just go ahead and call yourself MAGA. You don't question authority.
What's wrong with
you
that?
exalt people just because they have money.
But hold on. Isn't the authority the Black woman, though? Isn't that the authority of the community? And so the only rebels are the right-wing Black men. It's the MAGA men. It's the conservative men. It's the men off the plantation. Those are the rebels. Pookie is not a rebel. Pookie is a part of the program. Pookie is doing exactly what he was born to do. It's these niggas over here that have broken the system. We running out here wild and free, all unchained, and it's got you guys all angry.
You think because they have money that they're more intelligent than you. Money does not equate to intelligence.
Who's that nigga?
A bad experience than you.
Who that nigga? Why did you just show me this guy? Does anybody know who this guy is? Because I don't know if he's like, you know, a red pill, manosphere. Like, where did he just find a random light-skinned nigga to hate on? Is this light skin on light skin violence? Like, what is this? Who is this guy? Why did he put his picture up as like some type of punchline? He said that's the Just for Men guy? No. No. Like, who is this guy? Oh, that's Ish. Oh, you mad at Ish? Okay, he does look a little familiar. That's Ish. Okay.
Money does not equate to intelligence. A bad experience with a couple of women did not equate to all women being bad. And also, it takes two to tango. It's not like all these people that talk about their past hurts and their past relationships act like they weren't in the relationships too. Like they had nothing to do with it. Like they just walked in, like they were lambs led to slaughter.
Yeah.
No, nigga.
You know what? You absolutely right, bro. I kept my own kids from me. You right, bro. I gotta realize the part I played in hiding my kids from me. It was stupid. I don't know why I did that to myself. It was crazy. Shout out to True Hype with the $5 super chat. He said, it's okay to simplify, but to oversimplify everything to this level is a problem. He doesn't like degeneracy, yet venerates the streets. Not only that, how do you hate degeneracy, but you're pro-LGBT? Yeah. How? I mean, isn't that where the degeneracy lay? I mean, have you seen their parades, bro? They take pride in degeneracy. Just saying, though. I don't know if those two things go together like you want them to.
No, you played a role in it too. You got to get cheated on one time, will vow to cheat on women for the rest of his life to protect that from ever happening to him again, but won't discuss the fact that you're breaking women in the process. And the same thing goes for women. Nigga cheated on you one time, broke your heart, now you're gonna cheat on every nigga, and you're breaking men in the process. And another person's action is not a reflection of you all the time. Sometimes you're just a fucked up bad person. Sometimes you just got used and taken advantage of.
Notice how you give the nod to, oh yeah, women did this, women did that. And it's like, really, we're about 56 minutes into this now. Women, this be really the most weight I've heard them put on women's shoulders, and it was only lightly. Yeah, men break hearts, women break hearts. Yeah, that's called dating. That's not really the issue, though. Broken hearts aren't really why there's a manosphere.
And the reality is, anytime I've been used and taken advantage of, there were signs. Nobody had the wool pulled over my eyes. I didn't want to believe it because I was enjoying myself. Start being a little delusional. Get a little delulu in your system. That's the real Lulu. Y'all talking about Lululemon? No, the real Lulu is the delusion. That delusion. That's the real Lulu. And we've all been there, but you have to grow up. You can't paint a picture for, bro, we talking about what, millions of women? Millions. They're all the same? Come on, cuz.
You look like one of them dudes that went to college. You know, when you go to college, some of y'all, they teach you how to read stats and graphs and charts and all that. Hell, in middle school, they teach you how to read a pie chart. That's why we know what we know, because we've accumulated data and we discussed the numbers.
You hardly got anything in common with your best friend. And you think all women the same? Some of the niggas you hang out with all the time, you as a man.
And technically, even the idea that all men are varied, but women are generally alike is relatively true. I'm not saying that all women are the same, right? But here's another thing you discover with, when you learn to have fun with numbers and data. Distribution models, right? When it comes to like something like IQ, there are a couple high IQ women, but generally speaking, women cluster toward the middle. Whereas men, we populate the extremes on both ends. What that breaks down as in the real world is you get a lot more guys who just do creative, oddball, or even retarded, inexplicable stuff. Like, guys really run the spectrum of human behaviors, but women tend to cluster in the middle. Data, bro.
I got one interest in common, and you think all women are the same? You ain't even the same as the niggas you kick it with. So men are diverse. When you really start breaking down your mentality, it doesn't make sense. And at some point, you got to admit that you've gotten duped. You got red pilled. And the thing that you look at as logical is a fallacy. We'll be right back at this commercial break. We back.
They really do want to undo the red pill. Just keep kicking you in the stomach until you cough up all the red pills.
Now, this is not a break you down to build you up type situation, but it may come across like that. I feel like there's a responsibility on our behalf to not only call people out and help them and to make people accountable, but to also like be logical and be helpful where we can, right? There's a personal responsibility that you have to be sexually desirable, right? Personal hygiene. I think one thing about the red pill thing that they
now niggas is musty.
do is they give men actionable things, right? So going to the gym, making more money.
Mhm.
These are things that you work towards, but it's not a complete growth mindset. It's a controlled growth.
Right.
You control these physical things, but you keep your mind weak and you keep your mind susceptible to hate. And there's nothing wrong with being softer. There's nothing wrong with being empathetic.
He wants you to be softer and empathetic. Tell you something about the fat niggas and the gym bros, bro. The fat niggas really trying to sabotage the gym bros. Empathy not going to get me up this bar, bro. You can't soften your way up the pull-up bar.
Kind and doing kind things. You know what I'm saying? Naturally, I'll go out my way to make sure a woman doesn't need anything. You know what I'm saying? I see her with a whole bunch of groceries. Do you need help putting them in the room? If you come in, I'll hold the door open. And you don't have to be, and even if she say thank you or not, 9 out of 10, 99.9% of the time they do say thank you. But when they don't, whatever. Because the kindness is an extension of yourself.
And there's another thing here. These pro-blacks, they're not, they don't even believe in Jesus, but he's trying to sell me the peace of Jesus, right? And you don't believe in Jesus, but you want me to have the inner peace that comes with Jesus. No, I'm not buying it from you, bro.
It's not to receive. It's an extension of who you are. How you treat one situation is how you treat them all. So if you're kind in small situations, you'll be kind in big situations. If you're empathetic in small situations, you'll be empathetic in big situations. Character has everything to do with you. Okay? So working on your character is not so it's like if I was to give away money, but I'm filming it, right? You're doing it for the optics. And if you're doing it for the optics, then that's not really what your character is. And you have to work on your character. So yes, going to the gym will probably significantly make you more sexually desirable, but your mentality may be still fucked up. You have to work on your mentality.
Nah, you don't need to do all that. You don't need to do all that. Just bulk up, put on some muscle. Things will get better.
Personal hygiene is a big thing. Keeping yourself groomed, not wearing like ill-fitting clothes or old clothes, like all of these things, regardless of whether you agree with it or not. The first attraction is physical.
I wonder what a conversation between him and Kevin Samuels would sound like. Because you really trying to like take his little lane right there. Because that was Kevin's advice to men for the most part. Like, get yourself together, look good, smell good, act right. I feel like Kevin Samuels would hate you in everything you love. That's just me. I'm just guessing though. I don't know. What do I know? But it just feels off. Like this message coming from a nigga with a Carrots hoodie on. This whole thing feel weird, bro. Don't tell me to get myself together and be nice to the girls. And you out here buying bitches pizza and shit. No.
That's the very first attraction.
That's true.
That's what makes you desire a woman sexually is the physical attraction. You don't know anything about her mind. You don't know how she grew up. She could be a terrible person.
Most of them are terrible people. That's what we've learned. Shout out to True Hype with the $2 super chat. He says the latest type that you want to follow them. Yeah, bro. A new contender. Everybody wants to be the next Red Pill King. And then you got the anti-manosphere guys. They want to be the new Derek Jackson or whatever. Trying to convince all the Red Pill guys that it was all lies. Everything that you've been doing for the last 10 years, it was all a lie. You've been wrong this whole time. Your numbers, your charts, your graph, it was all white supremacy.
Just like you could be attractive on set and be a terrible guy. There's a personal responsibility that you have to take. And I understand that there's a loneliness that comes with these things. These men, they talk about the male loneliness epidemic and things like that. The loneliness will drive you to blame others so you don't take accountability.
You think the women aren't lonely? You really think it's just the men? The women are on these panels too. The women are having these conversations themselves. They have their own, the swirl thing, the divestors. You think the women aren't lonely? For as much as they talk about the male loneliness epidemic, which there may be some truth in that, nobody likes to point out how single women are projected to be in the next couple of years. You know, most women will be like single and childless in the next few years. And the thing for women is that it's a really slow burn. There are going to be a lot of women sliding into their 40s, and they don't even have kids to get on their nerves. Whether your kids are great or terrible or mediocre, you got them. You know, it's something to do, something to think about, somebody to call you. And a lot of women are going to get to that age where nobody's calling.
And I'm a big proponent of local fame. Visit the same places. Go to these, find, like, you know, if you drink coffee or tea, whatever, find places where you can go to 2 or 3 times out the week to the point where you're a regular. You know these people on a first name basis. If you've seen somewhere, and imagine there's another regular there, eventually y'all are going to talk because y'all share a space together. And the familiarity breeds curiosity. I'm gonna want to know more about this person. Same way you made friends in school, proximity. You have to put yourself in proximity to people. I understand that we talk a lot about.
And notice everybody's solution to the whole gender war thing is, oh, guys just need game. Guys just need to learn how to talk to women. You got to learn how to stop scaring the hoes. That's not what's happening here. This is a severe dysfunction that simple romance lessons aren't going to fix, bro. And it's really beyond the point of conversation. There's no combination of words that are going to talk women out of their power position, because that's not how the power position works.
Third spaces. Do you have a library card? Do you go to Barnes and Nobles? Find places where it's not, there's not a super expensive reason to be there, right? Find you a third space that's tailored to your interests so that you could be amongst other people that share those interests with you, but also take on the personal responsibility. You can't help your genetics, right? Some people are surviving off genetics, and you can't even get plastic surgery to cover up. And plastic surgery ain't going to enhance your genetics. What it's going to do is throw off your facial symmetry, and you're going to be trying to get it back, and you can't get God symmetry back. Once you go under the knife, you completely have taken God out of the picture. Whatever your idea of that is, you've taken the nature, you've taken the natural state and the genetics out of the picture, and now you're seeking something artificial.
Yeah, you don't even believe in the church God. You believe in the black woman as God. We already know what you are, bro. I already knew you was shaky on your faith.
But if man had to find out that his God was a woman,
I say the black woman is God, and
black woman is God.
I say the black woman is God.
The black woman is God because, you know, she was the first organism on this planet.
Why y'all laughing at the library card thing? That's not a good place to meet a woman. I can't bag a chick in a library. That's crazy. I thought that's where all the hot ones were.
Cosmetic plastic surgery makes sense to me when people lose a lot of weight and they have extra skin. Perfectly makes sense. Don't fuck with your face. Your nose is fine. I just seen a girl get, man, we ain't learned nothing.
Chop the nose off?
Now her shit look,
It's pointed up?
yeah, she looks nuts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you talking about what's her name? Rilla. Glorilla. She ain't got a nose anymore. She just got 2 holes in her face.
So yeah, go to the gym, but also invest in a nice cologne. You know what I'm saying? When you go out, if you embrace a woman and she get that scent on her, hey man, that's a life changer.
That's a talking piece too.
It's a talking piece.
What you got on?
Yeah, you smell so good.
There you go.
There you go. You're in the dough. You done broke the ice. Now you can relax. You relax your shoulders.
But also that comes from the knowledge of a woman.
Y'all really think the problem is dudes just don't know how to talk to women? And it's like, bro, you really kind of undercutting the whole reality of things here, because you can only think in terms of like the revolution. You can't really conceive of a world outside of your forevolution.
They teach you that.
Yeah.
Because my dad didn't teach me that.
No,
My mom taught me that.
Also, too, just learn. Observation is everything, bro. You have to be observant. I be picking a lot of things I pick up on through pure observation. Even online, you just see a woman smell a man that smell good. You know, shit. All right, maybe I need to smell good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I need to figure out what works for me, what scent works for you.
Yeah.
But the entitlement and the lack of accountability is I don't get women, so I'm going to blame women for that.
Yeah.
That's an entitlement. And that's also a huge lack of accountability, because are you well put together? Damn, can you give them something to be attracted to? Because men who make it a focal point to have great personal hygiene, find out their sense of fashion and their style.
Now, I gotta tell you, you really spent an ungodly amount of time on like the man's personal nature, you know, his muscles, his clothes, his smell. Like, you really think a lot about what a dude should be, like what makes a guy sexy. You have a lot of thoughts about what makes a man sexy, don't you? It's really weird that you think about that so much, and you're sharing these thoughts with all of us.
They don't complain about women.
Listen,
It's the real thing.
Let me tell you something. I work outside in the airport. It get hot, and I be outside, but I have good hygiene. So my clothes are washed, and I wash my ass.
Yeah.
So when I come back into the building from being outside, come back to base, all the women in this bitch be like, have you been working? I just take good hygiene. And they be like, yeah, you for a big dude, you got good hygiene, bro.
You take care of yourself, bro. It's important, bro.
It's important.
Are y'all both fat? What does that even mean? What, you look like you supposed to stink, but they were pleasantly surprised because, you know, niggas like you usually smell funny? What does that mean?
It's one of the more important things. It's called personal hygiene.
Yeah.
A lot of you niggas ain't taking it personal.
You gotta take it personal.
You gotta take it personal. You gotta take it personal.
My mom said you're ready to be known as the ugly nigga that stink.
That's some smut that's gonna be on your. If you a funky dude,
yeah,
oof,
yeah,
oof. Once that shit get in your pores, it's over.
Once again, your pores.
I mean, that funk coming about you.
Yeah,
it's internal.
Yeah.
You got internal funk. You don't want to be that guy. So we talked about this earlier about Twitter being like a hotbed for racism, a racial war more than anything.
Twitter is hot right now. And he basically like one of them Facebook, Instagram niggas, you know, because his whole thing sells really on Facebook and Instagram. If you want to be a pro-black, if you want a black woman is gauge your way into a little bag, you got to start on Facebook and Instagram. Now he trying to come to Twitter where the real men are. Scary in Twitter. Videos of people doing all kind of crazy stuff that you're not allowed to watch on Instagram. White boys making racist memes and troll songs. Every now and then you hear the smoke detector go off. Twitter is where it's real at.
It's not really even a discussion that's happening there. I want the black community to start looking at ourselves as a bank. Okay, let's think about that. You're a bank. If you are in the black community, you are a part of this bank.
This is so retarded, bro. I can't. I heard this part earlier, and I just the mind of these nibbers.
White people, the police, and the U.S. government all have extremely low credit scores with our society, and we continue to lend out these low interest loans. Perspective. Shift your perspective. These people have such a low, terrible credit score. They shouldn't even be walking into your bank. They should not be getting approved for any loans. I don't even want you to have a checking and savings account here. Take your money. Your money's no good here, right?
What happens when everybody else applies that to black people? What do you think black people's credit score is to all the other groups of people? You think black folk have a high credit score in everybody else's bank? You really want to run with that?
And we keep lending out these low interest loans to people with a terrible credit history. Terrible credit history. We talking about that shit in the 100s. They need 400 points to have bad credit.
Yeah.
And they continue to default on these loans every time we lend them out. White people gingers are black. Gave them a low interest loan. And what did gingers do? Because it only take one. Dad's gonna go out for some milk. Let me go get a Hellcat and a Charger. Hey kids, I'm going out for milk. Racist rhetoric. They're never not going to take an opportunity to slap you in the face. But what we do, keep lending these low interest loans out to this community that has terrible credit. White people, U.S. government, police, terrible credit. People of color, working their hardest to get low credit with us. Working their hardest, working hard. White people got terrible credit with everybody, but these people of color, Asians, these Indians, these Hispanics, they love them. They actually will turn over the whole bank to the whites. They ain't even lending out. They just here, you can have our bank.
Niggas come up with the most fantastical theories. Like, you know, in order to really be in the pro-black universe, it's kind of like watching a Marvel movie, right? Like, and I love superhero movies and action movies, you know, all that over-the-top kind of stuff. And the thing is, it's a real good movie when your suspension of disbelief comes easy, right? So, like, when you're watching a Marvel movie, you already put yourself in that weird superhero world. You know what you're going to get, and you accept it on those terms. So it's okay for people to be flying around and shooting laser beams out their ass and shit. Like, none of that will shock you. And then even with an action movie, like a Jason Bourne, like the Bourne series was great in that. It was really smart, tight action, right? John Wick, excellent gunplay, really creative battle moments, like the intense hand-to-hand combat, little moments of like gun fu. It was great. And for a while, you allow yourself to get sucked into that world. You suspend your disbelief. That's literally what it takes to become a pro-black. You have to build an artificial reality in your mind of what the world is, you know, like this black credit bank that he's talking about. You have to build up this comic book reality in your mind and then live there and suspend your disbelief and then just go balls to the wall with it after that. Because once you're in, you're in. It's hard to get out.
Black people, if we are the bank, we are a bank. Our community is a bank. Stop lending. We don't do loans anymore. We're done loaning, okay? We have to loan to our people internally right now. And every time we loan to ourselves, we charge a high interest rate. Don't we?
That's a fact.
Don't we make it life or death?
Yeah.
We only give our people one shot. We continue to lend out these low interest loans to these other communities that have shown us time and time again, they're not going to pay it back.
He is so deep into his metaphorical reality, it's really hard to understand what that actually means connected to the real world. He is literally too far gone. This is a sick Negro.
They have low credit scores, terrible credit scores, horrible credit scores, irreparable credit scores, and we keep lending. It's time to close down the bank. Because this constant need to respond to racist people online is a sign that you are still seeking validation from your enemy. I don't got time to argue with it. Like, hold on. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, what are we arguing on the internet? We're not going to get anywhere. I'm not offended by somebody who takes pride in ignorance. Never be offended by somebody that takes pride in ignorance. And you're trying to educate that. You're trying to civilize a savage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Surrounded by savages. I know.
You know what I'm saying? That's like, if I can only present them with the information. No, they take pride in the ignorance. They don't want the information. And it's constant need to respond to racism online, to try to educate your enemy. That just means you're seeking validation. Imploring empathy to your enemy constantly. That's a sign of Stockholm syndrome. It just is what it is. If you want to be a revolutionary, if you want to be rebellious to that society, if you want growth in your community, you're going to have to unlearn subordination.
But why be subordinate to women then? If you want me to unlearn subordination, let me take this unlearning all the way. I want to be all the way free. And that's really where you have a problem, because then when I say, well, if I want to unlearn this subordination, as you put it, then I don't feel I should be subordinate to any woman, right? Oh, well, no, you're the white man. You're just trying to be like the white man. I'm not supposed to be that free. Yeah, I keep hearing that. It's crazy. I was never meant to be that free. That's what we're learning over here in this black manosphere space, right? And that's why these kinds of guys keep popping up, because we were never meant to be this free. And this isn't even as free as we could be, right? I'm not even sure what that ultimately looks like, right? But I know it's not here. We're not there yet. But even where we are right now, we were never meant to be this free. And that's a harsh reality for both sides to ponder, right? For the men on the inside who are wondering why all the men are leaving, and for the men on the outside who are escaping to freedom. Like, these are drastic changes in the deal. And that's really the problem. We're breaking the deal. There is no table. Remember that. There is no table.
It was one of the biggest things I used to get in trouble for in school. Insubordination. I'm an insubordinate person. And we tie that back to the ridding of the rebel. They don't rid of the rebel, and now we left with all these docile people, these extremely subordinate people. Then you get your black ass wake-up call, but you still got that Stockholm syndrome in you. You still got that subordination in you. No, hold your head up high and shut down the bank. The bank is now only working on an internal process. I only lend to black people, and I don't charge no interest. That's our problem. We've been charging high interest rates to people in our own community, low to no interest for other communities, because you're imploring empathy to your enemy. That's Stockholm syndrome. You're still seeking validation from your enemy. You're still subordinate to your enemy. They're an enemy. If I was, if I was.
Remember, the white man's your enemy, so you got to be on war mode all the time. The forever revolution marches on.
A white person, I would love the black community, but they can unlimited chances.
They love us.
They love us. They love us too much.
Yeah.
They'll never try.
Really? They were just having a conversation about how much they sick of niggas, right? Just last week, actually before the black fatigue, there was Shiloh Hendricks, and then the black fatigue conversation came after that. Like, white folks about done with niggas, man.
If I was, if I was a white person, I would love the black community, boy. They can unlimited chances.
They love us.
They love us. They love us too much.
Yeah.
They'll never turn their back on us. Black women be perpetuating a lot of this bullshit too. Y'all, I be saying y'all be sending out, as soon as a white person have a little rhythm, y'all be sending out cookout invites too. We be seeing you.
I think black women send the most cookout invites.
I think they do.
I think black women do.
Go ahead, child. Y'all ready to goddamn boost some shit up.
Yeah.
Y'all need to stop boosting motherfuckers.
Oh, black women finally do something wrong. They love the white man. He finally caught off. Black women are finally wrong about something. He finally found the one thing that black women do wrong. Let's get a brother a hand.
A lot of people seem to not understand me.
Science proves that the black woman is God. We're not just saying that.
And the black and Latino woman, they manifested themselves out of dark matter energy. All right.
I believe the black woman is God.
Black woman, God. I don't believe God, no man. I believe God, a black woman.
The black woman is God.
But my number one subject matter is the black woman is God. That's first and foremost.
Black woman is God.
The black woman is still God.
You're God, black woman.
The black woman is God. She is the creator. She is the sustainer. She is the provider. She is the first teacher of the children. She is everything to the black race.
But don't get it wrong. I am still a white man's whore.
I know it's innate. Every time somebody talk about black women, what do they talk about? Their ability to hype them up. So you're still being in service. You're still serving them. Oh, if a black woman call me baby, I just be And these are things that come natural to you. But even the things that come natural to you, the empathy, the kindness, the love, they take advantage of it for self. They never talk about your strength. They never talk about your wisdom. The fact that your spirit can't be broken, black woman. They never talk about that. They only talk about your ability to make them feel good about themselves. Low credit score. Low interest loans. We still lend them out. And every time you lend them out, they...
Dan, he's one of the last niggas still fighting that fight. Remember, and it's always the pro-blacks that be trying to talk about the black women interracially dating. They lost that fight back in the 90s. After Jungle Fever came out, y'all lost the fight. Black women are dating out if they can. And it's just simple as that.
They default on them. They don't never pay it back. Stop lending. Let's talk about Adriana Smith. Have you heard about this story?
No, what happened?
So she used the Googles.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. When I let you just pulled it up. Yeah. The young lady who's in a coma. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I don't even think I want to hear about that part. I don't even think I want to get into all of that. But a lot of what he said, I kind of wanted to cover it because I was listening to this morning. I'm like, wow, we got a new one. We got another one. It's always one of these nibs, man.
Make it stop. Make the hurt stop, please. Like,
I'm telling you, man. This the reason why I be hating niggas, man. I'm telling you, man. It just be us. I be hating niggas, man.
Yeah, man. That tyranny conversation was it was interesting. It was interesting. Oh my goodness, man. You know what? Let's pull some of that up. Let me see. Is that still up there? Yeah, let's pull that up a little bit. Because that whole thing with tyranny on the mic, wow.
110%. Matter of fact, he got some new content out on interviews with a brother that's
a mixed son, a mixed son and a black son. Whatever. Well, I have a mixed son and a black son. I see where you guys are coming from a lot of times. I mean, having to deal with the justice and injustice system.
Hold on. Say that again.
Which part?
The part about you having a son.
I said I have a mixed son, a mixed son and a black son.
Okay. And what about now that you have a black son? What?
So it's it's easier for me to see the injustice that the black man goes through.
Okay, hold on. So basically, what you're saying is, now that you have a black man or a future black man of your own that you love and care about, you can see the bullshit that black women be on.
100%.
Hold on.
Now, it was all good in the beginning. It was all good in the beginning. But you know how that's how things start out. Eventually, you have to ask questions.
Baby.
Female? Nah, what you mean female condom? I
Wait,
don't
wait, say that again?
I don't know about no female condom. What does that even?
Let's move up a little bit more. Hold on.
What's going on? Let her answer the question, please. Like, I don't like when women be deflecting. I hate that shit.
I'm not deflecting. You want me to answer something?
I think this
She can
is
do
the
that.
question.
Imagine what she could do.
She's because of her father or because of her baby father. So again, the things this dude is saying is just false. It's lies. Men have to be considerate of plenty of things, especially we're talking about, serious relationships and having children and all these different things.
Now let me tell you this too, fantastic, that I'm learning this woman.
Shout out to Carmen with the $2 super
we'll get with a
chat.
man with kids, not like his baby mama, and tell him to keep the kids from the mama. I mean, honestly, it's a whole cycle of some shit that we do. And y'all, I'm not saying that y'all men do that. But if you're in a relationship with a woman that's, encouraging you to F that woman, don't let them kids go over there with her mom. You don't need that type of drama. I promise you, she's not gonna be no good mother for your own kids. Because if she can do that, imagine what she could do in your relationship. But I'm not sitting here saying that men are perfect. That's not what I'm saying. Like I said, I've been through it. I'm going through it. But I'm also seeing the negative that us women are doing to our children's mentality, that we're doing to the father of our children's.
Wasn't Tyranny married to Jay Prince? Is that the Tyranny that was married to Jay Prince? Do I have that right? Because I distinctly remember that little bit of drama lasting for like 3 days.
Mentality, and how a lot of power is placed in the wrong woman's hands. And a lot of it is because of the court system. A lot of it. Go ahead.
I was just going to get to something like the court system, but really, without even making it about the courts, let me just ask you a simple question. Do you think, since women have gained their, quote, freedom, I guess with like the 19th Amendment or feminism, wherever you want to put the marker at, since women have gained their freedom, do you think they've used it well?
Freedom of what?
Feminism. Since women have gained their, quote, freedom, I guess with like the 19th Amendment or feminism, wherever you want to put the marker at, since women have gained their freedom, do you think they've used it well?
Freedom of what?
From us. You ain't got to listen to no man tell you what to do with your life. Have women used their freedom well?
So truthfully, a woman was created for the man. There's nothing that a woman could call herself free from.
You got to answer the question directly. He's asking you, since you have more autonomy over yourself as woman.
Oh, that was Flora. Okay,
my
bad. That was Flora. That wasn't Tyranny. All right, I knew it was one of these YouTube girls. All right. I got it right. My bad. It was Flora.
Outcomes. Women have made better outcomes.
Hey, MrFantastic, what's going on?
Hold on, let her answer the question, please. Like, I don't like when women be deflecting. I hate this shit.
I'm not deflecting. You want me to answer something, dishonestly, because I don't see where women have any freedom from men.
She can't answer it because she can't answer it because that's a question.
Hold on.
I have one baby daddy. That's corrected.
But even there, it kind of proves the point, right? Like, there was nothing making you be loyal to the man that you had a child with. And now that you got a husband, it's not like you're legally commanded to follow his rules or whatever. You want to leave him tomorrow for whatever reason, you can do that. And there's nothing to stop you. And you might come up if he got any money to take.
She can't answer the question. She can't answer a question with that much weight to it. Number one, because that's a man's perspective question. Like that question,
no, it's not
goes
a man's
above her head.
It's a logical.
Listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying.
I want to hear you.
Exactly. It's a logical question that goes over her head. Women are emotional beings. It goes over her head. She can't answer it logically. She doesn't even know she doesn't even have the foundation, the basis to understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so I can walk it down. I got you. So Tyranny, what we're saying is this, right? So you're saying you don't believe that women are free from men's control and authority, is what you're saying?
I really don't. I believe that a woman would cater to a man if he snapped his fingers and asked her to.
No, that's definitely not the case, Tyranny. Nothing supports that. Again, if that was the case, why we have such high divorce rates and the marriage rates have been declining steadily, And then you have women out here promoting the feminist ideology of where women don't, black women specifically, where they don't need no man. You see where that doesn't match up?
But that's a lie. If a woman tell you she don't need no man, she's lying.
So Tyranny, we agree with you. Tyranny, we agree with you. But what we're saying is, right, women have the authority to say that. So even a woman being able to say that under quote unquote the patriarchy and a man's authority in a world that the man run means that that woman has a super duper level of control, right? She has a super duper level of autonomy, and she's able to provide for herself and protect herself without that man's covering in today's modern society, is what we're saying.
Because of finances, because of money. You're saying
Not just finances. Well, not just finances.
Legally.
Yeah, it's not just
so
finances.
can I say this fantastic? Legally, in 2025, that no longer exists. They are giving children to fathers. Even that guy, Mr.
What does that have to do with the question at hand, though? Like, anyway, you know how it is. Talking to chicks, man. You got to be really patient sometimes.
Whatever his name, Fugazi.
That was not the question, sweetie.
But
No, yeah. Guys get their case in court. But are you free or not? It's a real argument. Hold on, because you're talking about court. Are you free or not?
Hood. Let her do it. We walking. We gotta walk through it. She's just gonna say she don't understand it, and there's no conversation. So that's what I'm saying. We can walk through the shit. So, you know what I'm saying? So go ahead, Tyranny.
Okay, because you try to use legally in there, but in the courts they're giving children to fathers.
Pause. What percentage, Tyranny?
Shit, a lot. I can't tell you exactly.
I'm Meemaw, and my stepbrother, he got his kids. So I mean that proves everything.
It's educational. Give it a second.
So does Jay Prince.
So what? Whoa.
Jay Prince has his kids too.
That name, we don't even say that name over here.
Okay.
All right.
So they did date for a little while, is what y'all saying, and then that fell apart too. And now she married to some guy. Oh, and then wait till man, we got to get to the part where she talk about her husband.
So there are exceptions to every rule, right? But you acknowledge that the exception is not the rule, correct?
Correct.
All right. So what we're telling you is in these sole custody cases, I think men might be at 10% now. For quite some time, I think it was stuck somewhere around 7 to 8, right? But of men with sole custody of their children or primary custody of the children, it's a minority, a major minority. Okay, women have at least I can safely say at least 75% of primary custodial parents are the women. Okay. So is it increasing? Yes, but is it increasing or is it rate enough to say that it's on parity? No, it's not. So legally, like I said, you didn't disprove the legal part. So they have legal protections in family law. They have legal protections in domestic violence. Y'all have legal protections in what? Marriage, divorce,
the workplace, education,
workplace, sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is definitely a woman thing, not a man thing. So yeah. Title IX will be educational things. Even though I don't know,
hey, Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic, you mind if I say something real quick, please?
Sure.
Earlier in the show, you guys went all get up into the that's human race, man. We need to put these women back in line, put them back in check, and tell them, yo,
one nigga beating bitches, we all beat bitches. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you've been Colombia. Okay.
Brazil has the most people of African descent in the Eastern Hemisphere. But,
but not.
You literally hold on, Tyranny, Now you say you had an all-black son, correct?
I do, yes.
Does your all-black son have siblings?
What do you mean? Yeah, yes.
No, by his daddy.
Absolutely, he does. His dad has 9 other children.
No, by you.
Oh, wait.
9.
You literally hold on, Tyranny, you
9.
Hey, lock the doors. Lock the door. We need to Tyranny out of this motherfucker. Close.
You gotta make sure the G's don't come in through the back door, right?
Bro, I'm telling you, when you start hearing, just really hearing the intimate details of the new Black family dynamic that's forming, you really just kind of want to run away from the whole thing, bro. Like, what am I supposed to do with this type of fact?
There's no fixing this. This can't be fixed. Right? This can't be fixed. You just have to escape. So that's what I did. I went to a neighborhood where, I have a very low Black population.
Close the doors. Close the doors. Okay. Ushers, close the doors. Can I get the doors in the chat, please? Put the doors in. Lock the. You literally are. Hold on. Tyranny, you hold on. Hey, lock the doors. Lock the door. We need to get Tyranny out of this motherfucker. Close.
You gotta make sure the G's don't come in through the back door, right?
Close the doors. Close the doors. Okay. Ushers, close the doors. Can I get the doors in the chat, please? Put the doors in the chat.
Marvin, yes.
Hey, I do security in real life. I'll stand by the door. I got you on lock.
I got it. So, Tyranny, you mean to tell me, Tyranny, that you got a notorious nutter baby daddy?
I do. That's why I said I didn't choose him, man. Yes. God damn.
Look, you didn't choose him, right? Just happened to you.
You was not gonna die on that hill. No, I'm not gonna allow you to. No.
You doing the same shit, but it was hold on, brother. I got it. I promise you I'll kick it to y'all, man. I promise you I'll pass you the ball.
These other dudes, who's whooping y'all ass? Who's whooping y'all ass? It's not us. Who's whooping y'all ass? Cause y'all curse us out. And then y'all get your ass.
Ain't nobody fucking going to play golf. This shit is terrible. Like, come on, man. I mean, I'm sorry.
No funny shit though, Tyranny. You like
Why y'all get quiet?
Hey, again, baby, we just let you cooking right now.
No, I mean, I'm just in amazement because this is.
It's on Mr. O, and then we'll come to you, brother. Mr. O, go ahead, brother. What you got for us?
I don't know. I'm gonna take your advice. I'm gonna shut the F up. I'm gonna go ahead and continue. You know what I'm saying? I listen. Only thing I was just wanted to ask is Tyranny, you do know that you are like the archetype, like Hood Servitor said that we actually talk about. I mean, and they don't knock on you. It's just that.
That's what I was trying to find. Did you bet on the scenario of a 27? There we go. That's what I was looking for.
I agree. Didn't have to.
Okay.
Clearly, his lack of experience. Tyranny, let me tell you why. You say he's 27.
Archetypes today.
Hey. Again.
Whoa. Now you got too much dip on your chip.
Tyranny, let's not go too far, Tyranny.
You already
This is the last part, I promise. This one right here killed it.
Fine,
First we protecting Tyranny, now she not fine.
But that shit there.
Because look, Tyranny was saying, look, she got all of these kids. If she got divorced tomorrow, she's still fine. She can get her another man, no problem.
No can do that. Hey, bitch, you going too far. No can do.
No can do.
Hell no, I was just talking
Anyway, first off, how y'all think I got me a 27-year-old husband? You think I got a 27-year-old husband because I look like a baby mama of 3?
She's 35 with a 27-year-old husband. There you go. 35 with a 27-year-old husband.
Got me a 27-year-old husband. You think I got a anyway? First off, how y'all think I got me a 27-year-old husband? You think I got a 27-year-old husband because I look like a baby mama of 3? Thank you.
You a boomer? Word, Lord Jesus.
Tyranny Kelly. That's what I'm gonna call you, TK. Now that's your new
Yo,
name.
I swear you hitting like all the archetypes today.
Hey,
every bullet point.
Hey, y'all niggas finna fuck it up. Hood. Y'all was finna fuck it up. That's why I say, let her talk, bro. Just let her talk.
Okay, fine. Like I said, how you think I got me a young husband? Because I wasn't looking like I had 3 kids. But the reason he invested in me, Go ahead.
No, Tyranny. Let me tell you why. You say he's 27.
Yes.
He's 20, and you're 35. You said.
Yes.
With how many kids? 3.
Well, 3 without him.
3 without.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, 3. Before when you met him, you had 3 kids. Wow. When you met him, you had 3 kids.
Okay. Yes, I have 3 without him and 1 with him.
Cool. Yeah, so 3. So when I'm saying when you met him, you had 3 kids, correct?
Yes.
All right, cool. So baby, all that is experience, and respectfully, that's pussy and mouth experience, baby. That's all it is.
He don't have to put a ring on pussy and mouth.
Shit, me.
He do not.
Dudes do it all the time against our better warning and our better judgment. You try to tell them, they like, no, I love my baby mama. I never let her go.
You don't have to put a ring on pussy and mouth.
Shit, me.
He do not have to put a ring on any of that.
Actually, no.
I agree. Hold on. I agree. Didn't have to. I agree. Didn't have to.
Okay.
Clearly, his lack of experience with,
Absolutely not. My husband is fine. What you, boy? Please.
Fine niggas be stupid. What do you mean? Just like beautiful girls be stupid. Like a lot of people be stupid.
No,
that has
he's
nothing to
not
do with
stupid.
it. Yeah, she got her a 27-year-old husband with her 3 kids. No lie, if you was Tyranny, you would be feeling kind of big. Like, come on. Put yourself in her baby mama's shoes for a minute. All right, put yourself in her Nissan Altima for a minute. You have them 3 kids from these other, it's like 3 different baby daddies. One of them's not even from here. One of them's like a foreigner. He's from Guatemala or something. You got all these details to think about, and you got you a 27-year-old husband, and she said he's fine. You would be feeling so good about yourself right now if you were her. Come on. You would be like, look, girl, this is how you do it. Be like me. Y'all need to get like me.
Oh, Tyranny, you also said you were fine. So again, every nigga's ugly to me, but
I mean,
okay, fantastic.
That's not even the thing, though.
Me, but you said you were fine, Tyranny. So I mean, I don't know.
I'm something.
You were fine enough to get that young boy. But here's the question, though, because you earlier, Tyranny, you kind of spoke to men's leadership and all this. And generally speaking, would you bet on the scenario of a 27-year-old man leading a 35-year-old woman with 3 of her own kids? Is he properly leading in that scenario?
I am.
How can you possibly be a leader in that house? You got 3 kids that belong to 3 other men. Even when you put a baby in her, you don't even get to run that baby technically. You're like an employee at Costco at best, right? You're a part of the machine now. How do you get to be in charge of anything? And see, I wasn't gonna like really go ham on Tyranny because one, she wasn't my guest, and I'm not gonna like try to make her feel bad in the moment. You got to be delicate with these things, right? But that really does kind of highlight the hubris of it all, right? Do you really think that's a winning scenario? Like, you gotta win, obviously. You feel good, but come on. You can't sell that. You can't bottle that up and sell it to the market. Would you bet on the scenario of a 27-year-old man leading a 35-year-old woman with 3 of her own kids? Is he properly leading in that scenario?
I am helping him get on the path to God, and God is going to show him how to lead. I cannot tell no man how.
Look at fantastic eyes, bro. Fantastic eyes lit up. That nigga heard. This is why you gotta actually ask sharp questions. You can't just let them run off into their delusion, because then you get sucked up. Next thing you know, you done slipped and fell in her delusion with her. Have to ask the sharp questions. I asked her about her 27-year-old husband coming into the marriage where she has 3 kids from 3 different guys. Can he really be a leader of a 27-year-old man leading a 35-year-old woman with 3 of her own kids? Is he properly leading in that scenario?
I am
Watch
helping him
Fantastic.
get on the path to God, and God is going to show him how to
You're
lead.
oh
I cannot tell no man how to lead. That's something he has to learn from his father, right?
beautiful.
So he's in the
Ah.
right position.
So she married a man knowing he wasn't leadership material. Maybe he could be a leader one day after she molds him and sets him on the path to God, whatever that means. But she married him now. So he's not the leader. He could be. If you're not the leader you could be, then you're not the leader, right? You'll be the leader one day, but you're not the leader today. Did you catch that? Leading in that scenario and leading a 35-year-old woman with 3 of her own kids? Is he properly leading in that scenario?
I am helping him get on the path to God, and God is going to show him how to lead. I cannot tell no man how to lead. That's something he has to learn from his father, right?
Beautiful.
So he's in the right position, and doing great at it. He's awesome. But let me finish.
You answered that well. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I got your back. I got your back, brother. Like I said, the single woman with no kids, she
didn't even see what she just said, though, and that's the beauty of it. This is why sometimes you got to double back and run the game tape, because that was perfect. That was perfect. The blissful ignorance of it all. And this is why, over here in the Church of Misogyny, we say things like, "Don't listen to girls with clothes on," and whatever. Shout out to dirty folks, by the way. Provocative notion, but you're on to something. I tell you, you're on to something. That's like the Ferengi method. You know what I mean? If you keep them naked, they're closer to honesty. The closer to naked they are, the more honest they become. It's true. Test it out. She can't lie to you as good when she's naked. But we got to wrap this one up. I'm gonna put this one in the can. Thank y'all so much for coming out today. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys being here. Shout out to the contributors to today's show. Thank you so much for your support. I do have to go. I am so late for real world things. I was supposed to be somewhere, but now I'm gonna go. I'm gonna show up fashionably late like a nigga. Anyway, you guys have a good day. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you later.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.